Hey, Larry. Okay, so since you expressed interest, I'm gonna go ahead and just record this. Um, Might get a little dry, but yeah. I mean, if you're looking for tutorials, we can start with one that is about the thing that you are doing. Okay, so I'll just um, treat this like it's just any old project, except I'll explain the relationship of you know this to that, and why we do things some ways and why we don't do things other ways. Okay, so in this project we have a hierarchy of shapes, okay, that are being animated, and I'm not going to say that that's wrong exactly. There are some situations where you could get away with this. However, in this particular situation, and in most situations, bone structures are the way that you want to animate things, particularly if you're going out to Unity or Unreal. Um, if you were just doing software render of this in Maya, I don't think you'd have any problem. But at any rate, this is typically not the way that we do things. We want to skin and rig bones for our apparatus. All right. So the first thing is you did. Let's see. I think these. Yeah. So these transforms are frozen. That's a smart thing to do for animation. We would typically do this for controllers rather than surfaces, but this is not bad. But in order to do anything with these surfaces, we've got to unlock them all. Okay. Now I have a bunch of code that I write for just such occasions, and this helps speed things along. So let's see. Let's get my script up. I use Visual Studio Code for all of my Python scripts. Okay, I'm just gonna select this. This is my rigging tools script. It just has a bunch of stuff in it that will help speed things along. Okay, so in here, maybe this looks like nonsense. All right, cool. So here it is. At the end of it, I have some just random stuff. So this should unlock all transforms. There you go. And it will do it throughout the entire hierarchy there. Okay, so I'll do the same thing on this guy. Okay. Cool. Next thing is we have to get all of these on the same root level. So I'll just drag all these out one by one. Same thing here. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and group these and call it sled meshes, or just mesh. We'll follow your convention. Okay. Nice. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is referencing the hoverboard that, or the sled that I've already rigged, and I'm going to copy the skeleton. Okay, or at least that's what I think I'm going to do right now. So my reference editor, referencing in this hoverboard. Okay, then I'm just going to kind of try to position it as closely as possible to this other hoverboard that's in here. Sled, sorry. Calling it a hoverboard. So the dimensions of these two objects are not exactly the same. But that's okay. We're just gonna get it close. Okay. Cool. So this is the skeletal frame that is animating the shapes. Okay. And this is a set of controls. Okay, you can see them in here. Okay, they're nerves curves that are, for the most part, parented into joint systems. We'll get over, or we'll go over what that is in a moment. So, all things considered, I think it's best to just duplicate these controls and the hoverboard joints and just start kind of start over with the rigging. Okay, the rigging is actually not all that much. Figuring out how to do it takes all the time. Okay, so we're just going to duplicate these. Okay, and do we get them both? What happened there? Control group. Whatever. Okay, cool. And then we're going to unreference that. Let's get that out of here. Because it'll just confuse us. Okay. So now let's see if there's any namespaces that came in. Okay. Namespaces are your friend and your enemy. Okay. There is an editor for namespaces. I have it on a hotkey because this is so frequent that I do this all the time, and I just have it on a hotkey. You don't really want any namespaces in your what's your problem? Let's get script editor up. Main scene objects are parented to objects in the reference file parenting. What do you mean reference file? There's no reference file. Oh, this probably. Bye. Let's see if that does it. Let's try it like this. Delete. There we go. Okay. So it just wants me to delete the children first. That's fine. So namespaces, what they are is they preserve a sort of a hierarchy of imported objects typically. And the whole idea is that Maya, all programming works off of names. Okay. And Maya does allow you to have objects named the same thing in your scene. So you could have two objects that are named the same scene, or named the same in the scene. And so if you're calling upon those objects to do anything through code, Maya can get confused about which one you're talking about. And so the reason why it automatically gives you namespaces is to keep you from having those sorts of conflicts, okay? But in this situation, everything in here is going to have a unique name, okay? Because it's all in the same file anyway, right? So that's what's going on here. I'm just I'm just cleaning up the namespaces so that we don't have any interference down the road. If you set up nodes, they will contain those namespaces. It's just a lot of extra sort of nonsense to be looking at later on. All right, so there you go. Now what are we going to do? Okay, so in clicking around on these objects, what I was just kind of looking for is any strange transforms that I may have had in here due to me bringing it in and repositioning it, and I'm not really seeing any of that business. Now, I am actually going to take these objects, or actually just this object here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to World Center. Okay, I am going to do the same thing with the control group. I think I actually moved this. Okay. Because everything when you rig should be set up at World Center. Okay. It's actually really well aligned. The rig, not quite. Okay, so we're looking at this. So rather than move the skeleton to match the surfaces, we're going to move the surfaces to match the skeleton. Okay. And perhaps you've been very diligent about maintaining axis orientation throughout your meshes, so that's good. This will definitely one of the things that you see failing among people in this industry is sort of failing to keep things aligned well throughout their entire process, and you'll see some disintegration of alignment and stuff, and that's not happening here, so that's cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I know that this line is center to the apparatus, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down D, okay, and that allows me to move the center pivot of this object that I have selected around, okay? So if I hold down D and then V, it's now going to snap to vertices. Okay, and since I had it constrained to, the Z axis, we know that now this is in the center of this object. There is a little misalignment here. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, we don't have to, this doesn't have to be scientifically precise. It just has to be visually precise. Okay, so now I'm going to hold down X, and now I'm snapping to the grid. Okay. I'm not snapping to the grid. I'm just going to turn this on for a second. This will snap to the grid. For some reason, the hotkey doesn't always work. I've never figured that out, and I've been using Maya for decades. Okay, cool. So here we go. Now we have this sled aligned, the meshes aligned with the rig that we're going to be putting on it. Okay, let's just go ahead and save, because that was a decent amount of work that we don't want to lose. Okay, so now it's like, okay, I've got some questions to answer. Do I move the rig to match the surface, or move the surface to match the rig? Okay, because these control these, and they're clearly not in the right place. Well, I should probably use these, move the rig. Okay, so we're going to move the rig. This is sort of unorthodox because you typically don't do any rigging in a scene outside and then bring it in later, but that is what we did here. So it is what it is. All right, so what I'm going to do here is this system is set up to follow that object. Okay. What am I missing? Oh no, perhaps it's not. Okay, so none of the constraints were held intact when we moved it in. Okay, from the outside file when we copied it in. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We're going to then none of this stuff is viable anymore. we'll actually file optimize scene size. Should actually get rid of all of that crap. Okay, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. We are going to find boot rotate is the highest order of that boot rig system there, and then we're also gonna grab this bad boy. Okay, we're gonna move these both. Ooh, is it? No, it's not. Sorry. That is. There it is. Okay, cool. I've named these somewhat appropriately. So this is the translate Z, which is the thing that will move the boot along the axis of the sled there. Okay, so I'm going to grab that and then grab this. Okay, and then I'm going to slide. What? I don't know what that is. Here, let's just move this and then let's touch this and figure out what's going on here. Oh, I know what that is. Yep. Okay, cool. That's what we're going to do. It's fine. Okay, for now. I'll show you why that joint's hanging out over there and what that is in a moment. Okay. So here I'm going to go back into my view here so that I can align this precisely. Again, we have geometry that we can use to align this, so that's handy. Okay, I'm gonna hold down D and V and snap it right there. Okay, that seems to be pretty well aligned. Let's try to get it in the middle of this circle here. Okay, so again, holding down D and V, I'm going to snap it in Y to that bad boy right there. Okay. Cool. Let's look at it from this angle. Clearly not where we want it, right? So we're going to hold down D and V, snap it to center line there. I think that's going to do it. Okay, cool. Okay, we got a problem here. Got to make that a line. I'm not sure how that got off. However, its children are still aligned. So again, if you hold down D and V and snap it, whoops, why are you doing that? D, V, and you should be able to snap it actually to the joints axis. We'll just turn off polys for a minute to do that. D, V, snap. What's this? Oof. Well, I really managed to screw that up. DV. All of these should be aligned precisely underneath each other. I don't know how I just got those all off their axis, but I did. Okay, there we go. All right, now they're all snapped into the same place. Okay, so all of these are joints that are stacked on top of each other, one right on top of the other. And I'll show you what each of them do in a moment, but they are named appropriately. Okay, so that's cool. So this is actually the highest joint in the skeletal chain, okay? And it is there for strictly for rigging purposes. Nothing is going to be skinned to it, okay? And I have named it such, okay? It's called aim, right? Not skin, okay? Naming convention is very important, particularly to me, because I use a lot of code that uses this stuff. Let's see, what's this business? Should not be named that. Disk housing, rotate. Oh, we've got a duplicate. What is it doing? I don't think it's doing anything. Bye. All right, cool. So technically this could stay where it is, but let's not. Let's let's align it also to there. Okay, and I'll explain what that thing is all about in a moment. Okay, let's get our polys back up. Now the highest transform is this guy right here, the highest transform of the boot. Okay, and it's the thing that slides, right? We clearly need to get these flip 90 degrees. Okay, so we're actually going to rotate that. Okay, but I'll show you something in a moment. Well, actually, I guess I'll start with that. So when you're rotating objects, you can rotate them in different ways. Okay, and right now I'm holding down the E key and clicking over the thing that I'm moving. You have world, object, gimbal, component. Okay, there's a bunch of different sort of things, and you got to play with them to figure out what's best. In this particular situation, I do want it in an object because it's going to tell me what the orientation of the joint is. All right, so I'm going to hold down the J key, and I have this Y axis selected. I'm going to hold down that J key, and I'm just going to start dragging with a middle mouse. Okay, and it's going to lock it in to 15 degree increments. Okay, so now we've got it aligned properly. We had a 90 degree twist in Y. Okay, we do the same thing here to this boot control. We just happen to know that it's 90, so we can just snap it in there like that. Okay, cool. Now this thing is relatively well aligned. We've got to get these bad boys snapped in. Okay, so this is the control. Okay, so it's got to overlap the skeleton, so we can go ahead and do that. So we're going to hold down D, V, select our Z transform, and middle mouse pop, drag it to reveal the vertex perhaps. Let's try D, V, snap. It is not snapping because why? Because why? That's odd. Oh, because it's locked. Okay, that makes sense. So this bad boy's all locked up because it's a control, and you don't want people moving things in ways that they weren't designed to do. So let's get our handy dandy little rigging tool thing up. Unlock all transforms. What? More than one thing matches that name. Does it really? I don't see anything that matches that name. Oh, but it certainly does. One of these is supposed to be X. Oh, this is. Okay. You're catching me making mistakes here. So X, Z, get rid of this. So again, this is why we want unique names for everything. Because of situations like this, unlock all transforms. Oh, still has a problem with it. Okay. For whatever reason, I have an extra X on this one. I may have needed it, but I don't know. We're going to come back to it. Doesn't matter. Bye. Gonna get rid of that bad boy. Hold on. Did that have the shape node in it? Oh, they both have shape nodes. No, they don't. What the F? Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of that one. Weird. Okay. Anywho, okay, so we're gonna take this bad boy. This is the actually, should we do that? Yeah, we should. Okay. we're just going to snap this thing's high, this thing's null to here. Okay, frequently you will use I am not holding down the D key here. I am just holding down the V key. Okay, and it's going to snap it and should pull that sub-control into alignment. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to this view and just make sure that it's in the middle of that. This circle here. Okay, because obviously that circle is where it's going to need to pivot things. What was that? This? It's not quite aligned, is it? Okay, so again, I'm going to click on the DV, holding D and V down. I'm going to select, D and V. I'm going to select the axis that I want to constrain to, snap it in, okay? And then that axis, I want to snap it in there. Apparently that's already aligned. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. And then, what's this? Oh, of course. Okay. So now I'm just going to do the same thing with the skeleton. Okay. So holding down D, actually no, just holding down V, and then I'm just going to snap it to the joint that I know is already aligned. Okay. Cool. We're going to do the same thing over here. All right. We'll go ahead and just take that null. I'll come to why there's a null there at some point. Nulls, typically you use them to freeze transforms of an object after a fashion. You have the null take the transform value rather than the joint itself. If you're using a joint as a control, you want it to have zeroed controls. Okay, so might as well go ahead and explain this concept right now. I'm going to go ahead and unlock all those controls there. Okay. I still have values. You know what? Never mind. I'll come back to that. We will get to it. Whoops. Nope. I wanted this to just be not DV, but just V. Snap. Whoops. Snap on V. Snap on that. V. Snap on that. Okay. And now we'll get that skeletal system for that aligned as well. V, snap. Okay. Cool. So now those should be centered. All of that should be centered. Everything should be kosher. Cool. I'm going to pause while I do that exact same thing with this other side. Okay. Okay, so in the course of moving this thing over, I realized that I have left and right reverse. That could have just been something that happened due to the way that I brought this thing in, the hoverboard in. It's no big deal. So all we're going to do, I just want to, might as well show you this sort of thing because it comes in, super handy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my right stuff here and I'm going to just rename it left. Okay, so I'm going to do a search and replace name. Okay, I'm going to search for RT and replace with LFT. We're going to go hierarchy and apply. Okay, so now all of that stuff is left. It's duplicating all of this stuff over here. So I'll select that and I will invert these. Okay, so LFT and RT and apply that. Okay, cool. Okay, so I just got back from teaching my kids for like 8 hours because that's what a global pandemic makes you do, apparently. So I'm not sure where we were at, but certainly one of this next steps is to skin all of these meshes to their appropriate skin joint. Okay, so I'm going to select the root. All right, and that is going to be skinned to there. So we're going to go to the bind skin options box. Okay, and we want selected joints on. All of this kind of doesn't matter because we're only binding to a single influence, right? It's a hard surface. It's not going to deform. So it's just one affected joint per vertice is what this means. Okay. Let's just go ahead and apply. Okay. Now that should affect, the sled. Okay. Cool. So we're just going to keep doing that business. All right. So this should go to, sorry, not left translate, but right translate skin. Okay. Skin, bind skin. Okay. Now that should slide. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do the other side just for the hell of it so that we're just oriented side to side the whole way down. Okay. Translate Z. Okay. The aptly named translate Z, I think. Wait, that's not translating in Z. Are these? Oh, they are. Oh, okay, good. This is actually something that I missed. I missed a step, and I'm going to skin, unbind that skin. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this thing too, and that thing, and whatever else. Okay. Okay, none of those have skins. Okay. I failed to reorient this translate skin. Okay, I used it to reorient these so that they are in the correct position for the discs, right? Like it was facing this way, now it's facing this way, but I forgot to freeze the transforms. Okay, so this is going to have this value of rotate y negative and 90. We don't want that. Okay, we want all of our joints to be essentially frozen at world normals for this particular rig. We want everything to just obey world space coordinate systems. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to modify, freeze transformations, and then open the option box for that. Okay, I'm just going to select the topmost node because it's going to do all of the rest of them. Okay, it should anyway. And then we've got translate, rotate, scale, joint, orient. This is usually clicked off. That is going to be on because actually all we care about are joint orientations right now because all we're dealing with is joints, right? So let's go ahead and apply, and then let's see where our joints are oriented now. Good. They're oriented in world space now. We have no transform values in rotate. They, of course, still have them in translate because that's the nature of joints. They take on the translation off of the center of the last joint. Okay, so the world center for this joint is this joint. All right, but they will all be oriented in world space. Okay, and you can even see it if you get really close up on here. You've got this blue arrow or blue line that is going off in the Z direction, Y in Y direction, X in X direction. There are occasions where you would not want this to happen. You would want the joints to have their own unique orientation, but it doesn't make any sense in this particular situation, so we're not going to worry about it. All right? So, cool. Getting back to skinning. All right? So we're going to get back into the hoverboard skin, root, skin, bind skin. All right? Then we're going to come down to translate. I'm going to hit the G key, which repeats the last command. Okay. We're going to go translate Z with this. G key repeats the last command. All right. We're going to go bar rotate X. I don't have the same thing here. That's interesting. It's not a problem. Okay. So I'm going to let's see. First, I'm going to figure out whether I am even doing this correctly at all or not. Yes, Z is the top thing that we're going to want, okay? Because it's, going to rotate on the Z axis through this bar there, right? And then we want the X rotate right under that, okay? So I want another joint in between these two joints. I'm going to delete everything underneath those joints. I'm going to go rotate Z skin, and then of course this is going to be right. Yep. Okay, so now these match. I deleted something. I don't know. I did something that messed it up. And then I need to parent that by middle mouse dragging. I'm clicking on rotate bar rotate X skin, and I am middle mouse dragging it underneath the joint that I created for it to be its parent. Okay, so Z, X, and so on. All right, cool. So we got translate Z, rotate Z. Okay, so we'll do this skin, bind skin. It's just going to keep the values from the last bind skin that you did. All right, this and this G key. Okay, now I'll just, for the heck of it, I'll test that. Whoop, that's not right. Translate Z. Sorry, I didn't do that right. My bad. Skin, unbind skin, and then I'm going to skin that to this bad boy. Skin, bind skin. Okay, now it should be rotating. Yes, good. Bravo. All right. Did I do the same screw up on the other side? Let's see. Nope. Got it right on that side. Yay. Okay, so the next thing that we have rotating, actually, this I assumed was a rotate Y. So I'm just going to go ahead and skin it. Right? Yeah. Rotate Y, skin. Okay, so skin, bind skin. Okay. Same thing over here. Oh, whoops, I did it to the wrong joint. Oh, for fuck's sake. Man, teaching kids all day makes you tired. All right. This is what I meant to do. Okay. Skin. Bind skin. Same thing over here. We're going to go rotate Y. U. Skin. Bind skin. Okay. So now that should rotate. That's that thing. Okay. And then Y rotate that thing. Is it turning? Yeah, I can see it. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go X controls the boot. Okay, it's even named boot. Skin, bind skin. Okay, and this is an X rotation. Seems right. Nope, that doesn't seem right. That seems very wrong. That is clearly a Z rotation. Y. X. Is it this? Hold on, sorry. Yeah, okay. Skin, bind skin. Yeah, that makes more sense. Good, okay. Then boot rotate Z is this. Yes, okay, cool. Skin, bind skin. Okay, cool. So when we rotate in X, we get that translate. And then when we rotate in Z, we get that transform. I meant not translate. Okay, cool. So the same thing over here. We've got Y was already skinned. This is going to skin to boot, rotate, skin, bind skin, And same thing here, Z, and then we'll just go G. All right, and then we'll make sure that that works. Good. Make sure that this works. Good. Great. Okay, cool. Disk housing. Rotate Z. What is that? I think that was supposed to be this. Disk housing. Rotate Z. I gotta make sure that I'm doing this right. Okay, so we've got rotate Y. Yes, okay. Rotate X. Yeah, that seems correct. Rotate Z. Yes, that also seems correct. What is this? Is it for these? No, it's not for that. I don't think I need that. I wonder if it had a purpose in the last rig that is no longer existing in this rig. Could be rabbit. Let's just drop those into there. Okay. Let's get rid of this. This has no purpose anymore. Cool. All right. So they aptly named rotate X. Okay. So that's going to rotate this guy. All right. Rotate X. Nope, sorry. This one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Skin. Bind skin. Okay. Next thing is to rotate Z, and then that's this G. All right, and so now we should see that behaving correctly and that behaving correctly. Beauty. All right, that was what we expected to see. Okay, same thing back here. Okay, rotate X should be this. Skin, bind skin. And then rotate Z. It should be this. Okay. Let's test that. Yes, rotate Z is working correctly. Rotate X is working correctly. Cool. All right. So we did left. Let's do right. Okay. So, okay, so we decided we don't need this anymore. Okay, I'm gonna get that out of there. Cool. So rotate right disk in X. Yep. Skin. Bind skin. Z. Same thing. Let's check it out. Oh, very nice. Very good. This has hard edges. I'm just going to soften those for you. Mesh display. Soften edge. Is that why you don't have them soft? Is there some sort of weird problem geometry in there? I don't know, man. That looks a little strange, but whatever. A good rule of thumb is if you ever do something like that, you tweak the surface. You're gonna have history now, poly soft edge. Okay. You can just go edit, delete by type, non-deformer history. That's important because it does have a skin, right? So you want to delete the thing that isn't the deformed stuff that you've already done. It's not a big deal in this case because it's we haven't done much. But if you had a whole character that was skinned, Man, you would really want to have that feature for sure. Okay, cool. So we've got that skinned up. Got to do these. So we're going to do rotate X for this. Skin, bind skin. That one's soft. Okay, that's good. And then this one for this. No. This. Yes. G. Cool. Nice. Great. Awesome. Okay. So this thing is completely skinned. We'll go ahead and save. We'll test it just for the sake of the heck of it. Just make sure everything moves. Yeah, everything moves. Great. Good. Cool. So let's go ahead and now we're going to button this up and we're going to get back into this. Okay, so we have these controls that I brought in from this other scene. They were already set up. We're not going to go over how to set this up. We're just going to move forward. But suffice it to say that these things are a simplified joint structure to that of the hoverboard's skeletal system. Okay, but we're just going to use the controls here to drive different channels of our hierarchy here to make the mechanisms obey, the sort of logic of their design. All right. So we're going to hit hoverboard root control. You know what? We're not going to start with that. We're going to start with this next one down because actually the root control is the most complex thing that we're going to do here. And it's best to introduce this slowly. Okay, so we're going to go left boot, left translate X. Okay, so again, this is the slider. All right, we're going to do a constrain, a point constrain option box. Point constraints are translate constraints. We're going to translate or affect the X channel. Okay, we are going to have that selected, and apply. Okay. Now what we should see is this control moves this. All right. Awesome. Now, next thing down the list is we're going to want the rotation of this object, okay, to drive the rotation of this bar here. All right. So we'll take that control, and then we are going to click on rotate X. Let's see, hold on. Translate, rotate X. This is not going to be rotate X, but rather rotate Z. These are sort of remnants of the setup that we did before, because the setup that I had before had both of the feet facing forward rather than to the sides. So some of these transform notations are going to be changed. Translate X, rotate X. No, Z. Sorry, that one was already changed. Cool. Rotate Z. Okay, cool. So, right. So we'll take this, constrain. An orient constraint is a rotational constraint. We are going to do Z. That's correct. Okay, maintain offset. Apply. Whoa. Sorry, just you. There we go. That's right. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So we're going to take this, and then we're going to control the right translate, constrain, point, just X, apply. Okay, now we should have this thing controlling the slide of the boot. Yep. Okay. And then the next thing is from here, we want the rotate Z to be controlled with a orient constraint, orient, option box, Z, apply. Okay, cool. Now, this should control that. Awesome. Cool. Okay, just moving right on down the list. All right, so we've got next thing is rotate Y. Cool. So it's the same control. This control affects this joint. Okay. Orient constraint option box. Take it off Z, put it on Y, apply. Okay. Now we should test this, see if it works. Sure enough. Awesome. Cool. Let's go to the next thing, this thing. Then right, rotate Y. Same setup. Right, rotate Y. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, cool. Next thing on down the list is this bad boy. Okay, so rotating in X, let's just make sure that that is actually what we want. So we've got the bar, we've got rotate Y. This next thing is, yes, rotate in X. Cool. So we'll take that same controller again, okay, and then we're going to do rotate left X. Boot, rotate left X. That should be it. Okay, and then here X. Turn that off. Oops, turn that off. Apply. Cool. Now rotating this in X should rotate that apparatus there. Cool. Rotate Y. Rotate Z. Nice. Cool. All right. Great. It's coming along. Let's do the same thing over here. This thing is going to control the rotate X. Same thing, apply. Okay. Let's try this thing. Nope, just you. Yes, X, Z, and Y. Nice. Very good, very good. Cool. Okay. All right. So, I think that's got, yeah, that's got all of the axes for this control. Okay. So, we'll go ahead and save. Now we're going to move down to here. All right. These now need to control the disk panels. All right. So let's see. Let's make sure that we've got this thing done correctly. Yeah. Okay. Those align. So I'm going to take rotate X. And I'm going to go to, where are we at? We're on right. Right. Toe disk. Rotate. X. Okay. And we've already got it dialed in. Cool. All right. Now this thing, if we rotate it in X, cool. Should rotate that. Okay. And then this bad boy here should do Z. Hoverbird. Oh, wait, are we on heel or toe? What? Oh, whoops. Hold on. Do I have this stuff named incorrectly? No, that's heel. That's not toe. I got these turned around somehow. Let's do heel on this. heal on this. Heal on this. And this is obviously toe. I probably just rotated those the wrong way, which probably means I rotated the other ones the wrong way too. But that's okay. No biggie. It still would have worked. It just would have been a poor naming convention. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that's good. Good. I guess where was I? All right. Let's do this. So right toe disk, and then we'll go right toe disk, rotate X, apply, rotate Z, rotate Z, apply. Okay. Now we should see that rotate that, yes, and this rotate that, yes. Okay, cool. Great. Let's save that. And do the same thing back here. All right. So this is, here, we'll do this one first. No, we will do this one first. So rotate. Hold on, are these set up the right way? This. That is rotate X, actually. And this is rotate Z. How did I get those messed up? Well, it doesn't matter. Cool. And, as a matter of fact, I should change the order of these. Oop. Put that there. Put that there so that it's X first, then Z, right? Because X is the outermost pin and Z is the innermost pin. Okay, cool. So now back to this. Okay, we're going to constrain X. We're going to do right toe rotate, or I'm sorry, left toe. Let's close up this, and let's look for. Let's actually close all of right. And let's look for left toe rotate X. All right, apply. Cool. Now this thing should be. I'm sorry. This thing should be working correctly. Good. Now we'll take Z here, and we will go rotate toe Z here. Apply. Now that should be working, but it's not. Oh no. Oh, it's because I constrained X. My bad. Z, not X. We're gonna go here. Obviously not heal, but rather toe. We're going to, did I not delete that? I'm gonna delete that. Hold on, toe, disk, rotate. Wait a minute. Z is being, okay, there we go, bye. Jeez Louise. Okay, so Z, we want that controlled by toe. Z controls toe, disk, rotate Z in the axis of Z. All right, cool. Let's see how that worked. Yes. Yes. Very good. All right. Last setup here. Oh, well, no. A little bit more. After this, we've got to do the main board. Let's make sure that we've got this. Yes. Rotate X. Yes. Rotate Z. Yes. Okay. So rotate X is going to control heel disk. Rotate X. Apply. Rotate Z. Rotate Z. Apply. Cool. That should work that. Okay, good. And that should work that. Very good. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and save. Okay, cool. So we are very close to being done here. There's one last thing to set up. And it is how the sled itself follows the feet. Okay, so you'll see at this point, if we move the controls in a world space, we're not getting any movement with the rest of the sled, right? And clearly, we would want it to, right? Like, so this, for all intents and purposes, is the foot. This structure will be parent constrained to the ankle, okay? So we want the rest of the board to follow along with whatever these feet are doing, okay? The way that we're going to do that is with two constraints, a point constraint and an aim constraint, okay? Let's go ahead and just select this and just talk about this for a second. So we have the root of the skeleton for the sled, all right, here back at the right foot, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and by the way, it is in the same position as the right foot control, okay, not by mistake, all right? That's very much intentional. So I'm going to take this control, and then I'm going to select the hoverboard skeleton, and now I'm going to point constrain, and remember that is a translation constraint. All axes, go ahead and hit apply, okay? Now what should happen is when I move this, the whole board moves, okay? That is expected. That's good, all right? And then we want it to aim at the front foot, right? Like, we don't want it to move up and then have that fail to orient to where the front foot is, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this control and we're going to select this. So that's the target. This is the affected joint, okay? And we're going to constrain aim this root joint at this controller, okay? So there's a bunch of different ways that we can do this, and some are better than others. Some of them basically do the same thing, but the concept that you need to connect with here is that we're dealing with these axes, okay? So we've got the x-axis is clearly the one who's pointed down towards the target. That's what we want. Aim vector is that is that direction. Okay, so x. Okay, so this is x, y, z. All right, we want it to aim in x. We want its up vector to be. It doesn't actually matter. It could be either the z-axis or the y-axis. Okay. It just can't be the x-axis because you can't, it would just freak out if it did that, okay? They have to be at 90-degree angles, okay, to each other. So we'll go up axis as y. Now, sometimes there are a number of different situations. You could have scene up, you could have object up, you could have object rotation up, you could have a vector, and you can have none. I think we're going to get away with none. Okay, and that's by far the easiest setup. The other ones require a secondary object and You may or may not like its results. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this and see how it works. I think it's going to be just fine. Okay, so we have the target, the joint affected, and then our constraint directions. Okay, and a good sort of a good barometer about whether you've done a good job or not is if it doesn't freak out as soon as you make it. Okay, it certainly could. Okay, so the test will be if we move this and it orients to that front foot, which it is doing perfectly. Very good. Then we should also be able to move the front foot, and it should also control the orientation of the board or sled. Cool. That's it, man. We're pretty much done. Okay, so the last thing that we would do is constrain these shapes here that are the controls for the rest of the board, essentially. We're going to constrain those to the ankles of this character. Sorry, it's getting late in the day. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to take the ankle. We're going to select this bad boy. Okay. You could also, if you wanted to, you could make a null above this and constrain the null instead. But you're not going to want to really affect this after this. So it's really just something that you're using to select. Okay. So we're just going to take ankle, this, constrain, and then we are just going to do... We can do a parent constraint. We can do all axes. Okay, so all rotation, all translation, apply. Okay. Same thing here. Here, apply. Okay, cool. Now, what we should be able to do is move this around and get, what we're looking for. Okay. That's working pretty well. Of course, this thing wasn't designed to go to those extremes, like, maybe there was all the motion that it was ever going to have, right? And that's pretty much it, man. This is it. So here, this is just some nonsense that I was experimenting with. We can get that out of there. That's it, dude. Gonna go ahead. Oh, now that's not quite it. We've got to lock things out, okay, so that you don't go meddling where you shouldn't. All right, so this whole mess should not really ever be touched, okay? So we're just going to we'll just select all of it. It doesn't matter if you select the constraints too, okay? Oh, I guess it does because it's not going to give us access. All right, that's fine. Let's do just the joints. Okay. I'm just going to lock them. I'm not going to hide them because I don't really like digging through there to unlock them if ever they need to be meddled with. So we're just going to lock selected, okay? That doesn't change the behavior, okay, because that entire thing is being driven with these other controls, okay? Does this still have an effect? No. That was just for positioning anyway. In fact, let's go ahead and turn that off. Okay. We don't need those controls anymore. Those were just for positioning the board before we did any of the constraints, right? So now we shouldn't look at any of this thing's functionality. It should just go, okay? So in here, we're going to do... Oh yeah, okay, now we'll just hide this. Okay, we don't need to see it. All right, and then the control group, it's being hidden right now too. We don't really need to ever touch any of this stuff either. Okay, except for actually, I guess we do. Hold on, sorry. We need these, but not really anything else. Okay, so Let's go ahead and address that. Let's figure out a way to, okay, and then also here, we need these on, do you already have them on a layer? I guess you do. No, you don't. Okay, so here, let's take all of these and put them on a new layer. So we'll go layers, create layer from selected. We're going to go sled meshes, save. We'll go ahead and do this so that you can't select those. That's good. This is actually superfluous at this point, this particular control, okay? I just needed it to kind of do some positioning and stuff. So we're going to take that out of here. So we're going to display shapes, grab this bad boy, get it out of there. We're going to go just parent S and -R. And you know what? I need to make a null before I do that. So just a null out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Take this child parent, return, and then we can just get rid of that. Okay. Cool. We could conceivably do the same things with these. But I actually think that you should probably leave them in there in case you ever needed to unconstrain and reconstrain if you have other characters or what have you. Okay. Is this thing off a little bit from that foot? Foot's kind of penetrating a little bit. Case in point, let's go ahead and fix that real quick because we don't want that. So what we're going to do is unconstrain this thing, okay? This is it. This is the parent constraint for it. It's immediately underneath, and if you just were to like collapse those, you would see that it's underneath there, okay? We're going to delete that. Let's go ahead and just move this over just a hair so that it's encompassing that foot a little bit better. I must have moved it at some point accidentally. That one's in there. And that one could use like just a little tweak too. Could just like, cool. Those are kissed up right next to each other now, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna go with it. She's obviously never gonna be standing in this particular position anyway. So, okay, cool. So I just moved that thing while it was parent constrained. We'll see if it. Okay, cool. It didn't snap back. So again, we're gonna go. Oh. What happened here? There we go. We're going to take that. Again, we're going to constrain, parent constrain all axes. Okay. Take that. Take that. Same deal. Okay. We'll test it real quick just for fun. Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. And then these, of course, control the pivots and stuff. Okay. Now, we don't really want you, like, even though it has no adverse effects, we don't want you to be moving that in anything but Z, right? So we'll just go ahead and we will lock those out. Just lock. I think that's sufficient. Sometimes a lot of people think that you should lock and hide everything. I think locking it's enough, and the reason why is because if you ever do need to unlock any of this stuff to do any tweaks on it, in order to actually remove them from a hidden state, you have to go into another editor, or you have to do it with code. I do it with code, but I'm handing this off to somebody else. I don't want you to be confused or irritated. So I'm just going to go ahead and lock these. If you want to hide them, go ahead. Okay. Lock. All right. So now the only thing that this can rotate in is its appropriate axis, and the only thing that can rotate in is its appropriate axis. All right. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay. I only want it to rotate in X. we will go ahead and lock. Oof, it's getting late. Lock selected there. Here we're gonna go all but Z. Lock selected. Okay. That should be good. Wait, why is that not working? What happened? Did I not set that up? That's weird. Holy free holies. I'm glad I checked. All right, cool. So, no problem. Let's just, let's shut our shapes off so we don't get confused about what we're doing here. We're going to take that, and then we're going to go to, let's go ahead and just bring this visibility back up so we can see it. That's hanging off a little weird. That's weird. Rotate Z. Yeah, I didn't control that. Oh, okay. My bad. Let's go ahead and select this thing. And then this is right. Boot. No, right. Hoverboard. Heel disk. Rotate in Z. Constrain. Orient. Just C. Apply. Add constraints because it's locked. Rotate Z. That's was it. Unlock selected. U constrain orient. There we go. Cool. Now again, we'll just go ahead and lock selected. Now this thing should only rotate in the direction that we want it to. Yeah. All right, cool. Hopefully I didn't screw that same thing up on this side. No, that one's good. No, that one's good. Huh. Okay, just that one. All right, great. So let's go ahead and lock out. What is this? This is just rotate in X. Let's go ahead and lock these out. Lock is selected. This one. Select that. Lock selected. Okay. Just test them just to make sure. Oop. Oh, here, let's bring that back up. There we go. There we go. There we go. Good, good. Test these. Make sure I didn't forget to do one of those. Nope, those are fine. Great. This will lock all but rotate X. Lock selected. The and this one. All but rotate Z. Okay, test that, make sure that's cool. Yep. I already did this one, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, dude, I think that's it. So you test it out, you let me know. And I think that should be it. Oh, no, wait, hold on, sorry. One crucial piece still to go. In order for this to function correctly in Unity, we are going to need, in fact, I don't know that you've set anything else up in Unity yet or not, but there should be a root node at world center. Okay, so I'm going to actually just make that for you. Create or sorry, skeleton create joints. Okay, and I'm just gonna go holding down X and putting that there, and then I'm gonna zero this. Okay, and this is going to be root. Okay. Drop this in here and then drop the hips under root. Okay. Now that will be the root joint for both the hoverboard and the hips. Cool. Okay. And that will not change the behavior of anything, but this is how you control where the character is in space. Okay, you don't control it by the hips, because the hips could have like any orientation, right? So let's see, how do I explain this? In Unity, you are going to have a sort of the root node is where the character is in space, and frequently it also controls scale of the rest of the rest of the whatever it is as well. Okay, if you made the hips the root joint, then anything that you did that controlled the character's place in space would override what is going on with the hips in turn that are controlled by the animator. Oof, I know that that's a complex sentence that I just said. Just know this: you need a transform above the hips to make it work correctly in Unity, and at some point I imagine I'll be showing you why. Just know that for now. Okay, so this is a complete rig though, okay? Although I don't know how you're driving her. I assume that you're doing some sort of, like you do the animations in Mixamo and then you retarget them onto this. That should work just fine. I don't know what, if this is going to cause any problems. It really shouldn't, because one would assume that it's based off of name stuff anyway. But yeah, that should be it. Let me know if it's working for you or not, and we should be good to go. All right. Thanks. Bye.